Hi, guys. Hi, everyone. If you can see me and you can hear me, let me know. Say yes, 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 yes. Hi, guys. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world. Hi, guys. Can you hear me? Let me know. I need to see your comments so I know that you're here. Hello, people. I saw all of your comments before. Let me see them now. Fantastic. I see you. I see you. Hi. Yes, Esther. I see all the yes, 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 yes. Hi, guys. Hello. You are ready for day two. I see you. I see you. I see you. Wow. Amazing. Share the links. Let your people know that we're here. Put it up on your story, your WhatsApp status, all of that. Let everyone know we are here and we are live. Are you even ready? Are you sure? Are you ready? Let me see you ready. Yeah, I see. Yes, yes. Hi, guys. I see you. I see you. I see everyone. Amazing, amazing, amazing. Um, you know how we do. I'm just going to start. I'm gonna have Ife come up in one, two, three, boom. Yay!
Hi,
Hello.
everybody.
Ife, I hope you can see comments. I want you to be able to see comments as well. Can you see
Yes, I
them?
can see comments.
Okay, good. So that when we start getting the questions, I will put them up for you. But everybody say hello to the Queen of Dang. Are you guys even looking at what I can see? The skin is skinning. The girl is girling. She's so beautiful. Can you guys say hello? Wow, wow,
Hello,
wow.
everybody.
Yay!
Hi, I can see
Yay!
community members in the comments already.
Yes, your people. Yay! Yes, 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 yes. All of you. You better say hello. You better
I
say
can see
hello.
them. Hi, guys. Hi, guys.
Fantastic, fantastic. Thank you. This is I like this Yoruba. Somebody is like, let's go. Let's go. I
Ah,
love that Yoruba. Let me just where is this? I need to show it. What is this?
ah. The person said Ifekofoshi.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That is so cool. I was trying to read it because I can read Yoruba and I don't understand what's going on.
Oh, definitely
Anyway,
community members. That's their
love,
behavior.
love,
That's our
love,
behavior.
love, 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 love. Love that. Thank you, people, for being here. You know how we roll. I'm gonna go straight into it. First of all, I want to thank you, Ife, for being here tonight. I mean, for just having one small conversation. It wasn't even really a conversation. I think it was a message, and you were like, "Yeah, yeah, yeah, I'm going to do this." I find
Yeah.
that truly gracious of you, and I wanted to just say thank you for permitting yourself to be here tonight. So yeah, 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 that is so amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. So deeper. Guys, you know what deeper is, right? It is that in the middle of whatever is happening at some point in our lives, we just need to have some true conversations with self. So this is almost like you asking yourself questions. Think of it as you being in a closed room and nobody really hearing. And those questions that you wanted to ask, or those things that are going on in your head, if you had no hesitations, no limitations, what would you ask? What are the things that you're dealing with that are sort of like standing in your way from becoming your best, highest, most deserved self?
Yeah.
And so today we're actually talking about creating opportunities and the power of storytelling and using you obviously for how it just looks on the outside. How did this happen? Did you always know, okay, I'm a storyteller? Did you just wake up and say, I'm just going to start? I mean, how did you evolve into this person? Where did you start from? I think that that's like a beginning story so that we can hear it and start, building the blocks to where we need to be.
From
So
there.
shoot.
Um, I think storytelling for me started way in secondary school when I got in trouble for being friends with the wrong person. This girl used to steal people's stuff, and I didn't know,
Wow.
so I thought she was a rich girl, right? So she would say, "Don't eat hostel food. Let's go and buy food outside. Don't do this. I have money." Okay, no problem. And I would just follow. I was in secondary school. I think JSS 2 or 3, JSS 2. So later we found out that she was stealing people's money, like wherever they kept them, and she was just, lavishing and spending. And the matron assumes that I knew about it, even though my siblings said, Ife doesn't steal, Ife is always content, blah, blah, blah. But she didn't believe me. So she asked me to go home. She sent me home. And so when I got home, my mom was livid. Like, what's your own? Like, you already told them you're not involved. Nobody caught you stealing. Why would she accuse you? Because my mom didn't want that accusation on me, like, because she knows. Anyway, long story short, I've written this, as well. My mom made me stay home, tell myself she was saying positive things to me every day. You are
Wow.
not a you may not have money physically, but you're not poor of mind, you're not poor of reasoning, your life is full, your life is happy. She would say those things to me every day because she just needed me to imbibe that and detach myself from the words that the matron has said to me. You're a thief, you're this. When you grow older, this is what you're going to prison. Those things that,
Wow. Yeah.
yeah. So she wanted me to detach myself from those words because words are powerful, and my mom believed very strongly in the words that I said to you. So then we went back to school on a Sunday, and my mom instructed that they take my mattress back to my room and all of that. So after the girl had confessed many times that Ife is not involved in this, she didn't even know what was going on. The matron shop finally believed, and so my mom took me back, and then my bed was taken back. And my mom said the matron had to call everybody into the hall, tell them, not that I would just come, people would just see me and assume that maybe I was forgiven. No, tell them Ife is not involved in this, and so they can clear her name publicly. The way you called publicly and called her a thief, publicly say that she's not. So the matron did that publicly, called everybody into the hall, rang the bell, whole meeting. And then she said, so she's sorry that Ife is not part of it. She wasn't involved in it. She didn't know anything about it and all of that. So when my
I
mom
mean,
was calling,
I'm going to pause you there, and this is how I work and I run, and I'm going to bring out something that you said that is very powerful. This is a beginning, and for anyone that is listening, this is a beginning of how a story starts and your part in. And really honestly want to honor your mom for what she did. A small thing that
absolutely,
it looked like, but it was a magnificent thing that could have changed the course of your entire life and your entire being. Somebody had
yes,
created a story around you, and she had said, you know what? It's not enough. I mean, okay, let's get this thing. It's not enough to say, okay, at least you have your mattress back. Let's be going. You see,
mm,
that same story needs a new script, right? And that's
yes,
because there is perception. There is that, unfortunately, our world is such that people are not going to say God sees my heart. That's why He's God, right?
exactly.
So we need to be able to, and that is for someone out there that certain things. You're just saying, well, at least me, I know myself. Me, I know
Mm,
what you want. Well, it
mm,
doesn't matter what they are saying. It does matter. It actually does
mm,
matter because we are creating
yes.
stories. And those
Mm,
stories, you never know where it's going. So I wanted to pause
mm,
you there to bring that out for somebody who is just listening and thinking, oh, okay, nice, mommy, well done. No, it's not just about mommy, well done. Mommy showed
mm,
us something that is so powerful for a child. But
yeah.
if you, as an adult, you're permitting stories to be around you,
Mm,
and how somebody maybe sometimes maybe embarrasses you, does something really terrible, and
yeah.
they want to cover it up, and that is the seed of manipulation. When they say, you know what, let's just forget about it, and or
Mhm.
you're dating somebody in the closet, and the person says, no, don't let anybody, and in public they are a different person
I
to you
know.
inside there. So that is the power. Just what you have started off with tells us about
Mhm.
is an introduction to the power of storytelling and what stories do for us in our lives. Please go ahead.
Absolutely. Yes. The narrative that we make for ourselves,
Yeah.
it's amazing. So she did that, and when she was leaving the hostel, she said, since you're just like to, because I was always getting into one trouble or the other, even at home, I was always so I mean, she was just like, you just like to get into trouble. Your punishment. No, no, no. She hadn't punished me then. She just said, stop making me trouble, stop making me come to school to start, Anyway, so when she got home, I now wrote her a letter to appreciate her, and
Mm.
then, tell her what really happened, told her what really happened in the letter, like just how I met the girl, how, I thought she was a good person and all of that. So I did that and I sent the letter to her. So the next time she came for visiting day, she said, Ife, that letter you wrote me felt like a storybook. Your
Wow.
punishment for stressing me and making me always come from Lagos to Abeokuta every time to resolve issues. Be writing letter to me every 2 weeks. Write letter, explain to me what has happened to you, send it home.
Wow. Your mom, she did
So,
something though.
oh, she did something more than something. She's great.
Wow.
So she then I just started writing. In my mind, I was like, what kind of punishment is this one? All right, I'll do it. It's okay. Because then I realized I actually enjoyed it. That I could put words together in a way where people could see what I'm saying. My mom would say that she could see the things I was writing. And me, I was just explaining myself. So I just started writing from then. That was when I started writing. And gradually I knew, that I can write. I can tell
Imagine.
stories. I can tell stories. I can put stories together well.
That's amazing. You know, yesterday we had Toyosi Etimafyong, and Toyosi was saying something about you should look at the things that maybe irritate you, or look at some things that, there's just a random demand. And
Mhm.
you are just, sometimes you're like hesitant, oh, why? Oh, this and this. But that there's a seed of, and we discovered that there's a seed of genius in those things, that anything that
Yes,
is demanded of you is because it already exists in you. And it
I
takes
agree.
you sort of like giving yourself to it. Now, so for me, is this whole storytelling. Okay, I started writing. How did it develop? What? How did you get here? So, quick steps. How did it? Okay, so yes, from writing stories ahead. Then what happened?
Yes. So we just got in. Let's fast forward to me working, hanging out with my friends on weekends and all of that. So what would happen is when we go out, I see things they don't see, or maybe they see but it didn't register in their heads, right? Because they would when we go for parties and I now explain to them what happened at the party, they say, "Well, that's true. I saw it, but I didn't see it." You know, when you see something but you're so distracted, it doesn't register. But when I'm somewhere, I notice many things because I'm not a quiet person, but I'm very observant. I've also been blessed with the gift of feeling vibes from
Hmm.
people. This is why I know who likes me and I know who don't, and I know when you're lying, and that is okay. But I always feel vibes. Then I take a cue from that. So I just write to my friends and then tell them this is what happened at the event, and they say, "Wow, it's true. That's what happened," but they did not see it like that. And even
Hmm.
though they're laughing at my story, they they were not laughing at the time. But the way I would write it would make them laugh. So gradually, I just started doing that. So one day, my friend tagged me to a post on Instagram. I said, I have an opinion on this thing, but I don't want to write it under this person's page, just because
Wow.
the page was a little I don't know how to explain it. Sha. But I just didn't want to write under the person's comments. So and I said, let me go and open my own page. So where I can write all my opinions in peace and write my stories in peace. But I said I was going to do that, but I didn't do it. I didn't do it immediately. So something again happened at work when I now realized that, you know what? Women's story is so important for us to tell because it seems to me that we people don't take our story seriously. Not only the world, even us women, we don't give ourselves enough grace to feel like our story is telling. So we feel like, oh, we've made mistakes, we can't tell it, or
Hmm.
we are successful. I don't want to brag if I tell my story.
Hmm.
I think
Hmm.
that I've done this in the past. I don't do it anymore. They will judge me. We don't give ourselves enough grace and enough what's it called, credit to say I'm worth everything I am. I'm worthy. Everything, good, bad, flaws. I am still worthy. You said, you know what? I'm going to write down. Maybe I said I was going to open page before to write my opinion. I'm writing. I'm going to do it. So I opened the page, and I started with writing my opinions and my story on that page. And my whole intention from when I started till today is that women see my story and it's easier for them to tell their stories.
Hmm.
Because when I come very unashamed, my mom used to say, I don't know if you understand Yoruba well. My mom
Of
used to
course I
say,
do.
Kolojuti, I did not have shame. From when I
Yeah,
was
no
young,
shame.
I did not
Hmm.
understand the thing, this shame. I didn't get it.
Okay.
Just because I don't come across as I can't do something. When I do it and it's bad, I say, oh, I feel bad, but I don't feel shame. So when I
Mm,
started writing a story, I didn't think that I'm supposed to feel shame for my experiences, especially when I'm coming to you from a place of, oh, I did this, I shouldn't have, but I'm not trying to let you know that I did it. So you
mhm.
don't. So you don't do the same. Or if you also done the same, come and tell me, what was your experience? Why did you do it? You know, that kind of thing. I didn't write it from a place of shame. So I began to write my story and gradually and tell my opinions. And people will say, Ife, something has happened. Come and tell us what you think. If it's something that I'm interested in, I will definitely say what I think. Like, I think, from the beginning, I did not apply a lot of empathy because I would actually tell my opinion as if I'm talking to my friends. Like, I don't, what did she do? What, initially. But again, I just started telling my opinion and telling my story. Then women started writing to me.
I mean, so you've said quite a number of things. I think that there are two things that I identify here. The place of shame, first off, and I think that we should talk about that. So a lot of people are held back by fear of judgment,
Yes.
fear of, they're also held by and shame is actually a real emotion. It's something that
Mhm.
overpowers you. And so, how is there anything that you can remember or that made you feel like what is it? I don't feel because I almost feel like it's a gift not to feel shame.
No,
I'm
I
not
think
really
shame, I think not feeling shame comes from innate confidence in
So
yourself.
where it can't
That's the
just be
innate one.
that you're just
Definitely my
innately.
mom.
It must be
It's my
something
mom.
that has
Oh, my
happened.
mom. Definitely my mom. And I can't tell you one particular thing, but my mom is just a thing that, you keep hearing because, we lived in the slum, right? We grew up in the slum.
Mm,
So it was a vast world, but also slow because there was no money to do things, but people were just living. And my mom would keep telling us that the moment you get out of here, understand that this slum does not define your actions outside. The way you behave here, go and behave like that outside. The way you can talk to anybody here, nobody outside is better than you, richer
mm,
than you. They may have more money, like physical money, in their mind and in their heart. We are all just saying, all just looking for one thing to be
so,
happy. Okay. So when you go outside there of this slum, nobody. So that's why when we go to places, our heads are up, we're smiling, we're looking at everywhere like, so, I can talk to
wow.
you, you can talk to me. We didn't have that truly in growing up in my house. We didn't have like, you can't be, or you can't talk, you can't, no, we never had that. So I just grew up not understanding shame. I understand it now because I've spoken to hundreds and hundreds and thousands of women. I just can't be that person who is held down by
I
that
think that it's
feeling.
very so again. I go back to what I said about it being gifted to you. So I believe that each one of us in our journey on our path, that certain things that have been sort of like gifted to us because of our peculiar journey in life. So you
Mm,
cannot have that if you are supposed to be listening to people and hearing them out and showing them what to do or how to, or even validating their thoughts or expressions. So it's almost like a gift that was given to you on your own peculiar journey. And you know
I,
what I'm saying into the second thing is that you started as you are. So you said something about like you didn't initially you were just blunt, like okay. So there are a lot of people that say this is who I am. You have to take me or you leave me. And me, I'm straight to the point. I always just say it as it is. There's a
mm,
place for growth. And you
I
you
agree.
sort of like mentioned that here that you are the place of shame is that first of all starting wherever you are and knowing that it's fine, we are all evolving, we're all walking through it, but to permit yourself to actually evolve. So you could have remained as that person that what
Yeah.
this is what I'm thinking. You are
Yes.
terrible as a human being. I cannot, but
No.
so why did you feel like then you what happened is that evolution was something that was necessary for you to do.
Or when I knew how powerful my words were, because I didn't know that people would take my words that, especially the ones that stung, that people would take it
Mm,
seriously. The first time I began to watch myself was when Linda Ekeji sent me an email to apologize for something I said. So she said something, and I wrote a whole article giving her my opinion and breaking it down. And she sent me an email to say, Ife, I saw your post, I am sorry. And she explained to me, I said, "Ah, why do you have to send me an email? I was just speaking my like." it took me back. Like, oh no, don't do that, So I started thinking, oh, okay. So gradually. And then there was something else. It was something else. I think it was Toke Makinwa's book. Oh my God. In fact, my review of her book was very true to what I was thinking, not true to my empathic side. It wasn't. It was, I can think anything I want, but I cannot put it down exactly like that. Even in my thoughts, I'm supposed to pull back and say, well, wait, hold on, hold on. This person may have, I've given her excuses. I didn't give her any excuse. I was just writing my opinion. And guess what? My thoughts and opinions affected her book. Because people said, if Ife can say this, then we believe her. Is it that we're not reading it, or we'll read it and read it from the eyes of Ife and then
Wow.
break it down that way? And so it went that way. And I felt really bad. I said, no, I don't think the way I'm saying my opinion makes people's lives better. It's not doing that. I think it's making the people involved not happy. Or I think I don't exist to make everybody happy. But
Yeah, I
at
get that.
least I should be very considerate in people's
So,
feelings.
so,
So I
so what
stopped
I
writing
hear
opinions.
you, what I hear you, sorry to jump in there, but I don't want to
Yeah.
let you, slip on that. What I hear you
Yeah.
saying is growing graciousness. So when I
Mm.
say growing graciousness is that, also leaving room for other people in our
Mm.
own thoughts, in our own ideas. And we're really talking about creating opportunities. I'm getting there. We're talking about both from the power of storytelling and
Mm.
how you have actually been gifted on this journey, but how also when you received it, you first of all took it as it was, like this is what it is.
Yeah.
But on your way, you learned graciousness and knowing that, see, we don't need to be friends. What I owe you is kindness and love.
Yes.
So I don't owe
And
you
empathy.
friendship. I don't owe
Mhm.
you let's be inside each other's shoes. But
I
however,
know.
I can owe you some
I
peace.
owe you
That, you know
kindness.
what?
Yes.
I owe you kindness and I owe you a
Mhm.
level like love, meaning that I leave room for you. And that's something that we need to learn as a people, to know that
Yeah.
our lives really and the things that we do, we are not really in isolation. So especially when you
No.
get to a particular place, and this is for even people that are, whether they feel like they are influential in one way or the other, they are bosses, they are team leads, they are whatever
Yeah.
it is, to know that you know it, you are in that your head, but there's room for other people. Like you need to be able
Yeah.
to, yeah, squeeze
Let's
things a
create
little
some.
and just,
Yes.
yeah,
Yes. Squeeze them
just,
in.
yeah, just give them small, but
Yeah.
yeah. So, I mean,
I
and
agree.
how
I,
I want to know how that changed anything for you, or how that took you on another, pedestal. Like, what did you become, and how did it affect the way you told stories?
oh yes. I began to
Yeah.
realize that even your gifts needs refinement. It's
Hmm.
like um gold that needs to be shaped. It doesn't take away the gold. It doesn't take away the essence of it. You have
Hmm.
just shaping it into a way that is pleasing even to you, not to others, or even to you. I don't know about people that don't have conscience. Me, I have conscience. So I don't know about those people, but for me, it has to be pleasing to me. I have to be able to go to bed at night to say, I said this, but kindly, or I wrote my story, but kindly, or I reported somebody else's story, but kindly. And that, you know what that did to Dang? Dang became a no toxic space
Hmm.
where when you read our comments, over 1,000 comments, 2,000 comments, very rarely do you see insult back and forth. Very rarely do you see toxic, like people come to the platform, they read comments, and they don't see the need, there's no fights. There are very strongly opinionated people on that platform, but you will see that they pass their points across with empathy because I led the way. I refused for that platform to be where we're just talking, just because we can. But we can't speak our mind because freedom of expression is very important, especially for
Why is it
women.
important? Why is
Especially
it
for women.
important, Ife?
Oh, it
Why is it
is. It is.
important? Why?
It is,
I
especially for
really,
women. So,
why?
so this is it. When we were younger, it didn't happen to me because in my house, you have to speak. I need to hear. My mom will say, "Let me hear what you're thinking." And now I do that a lot to my friends when they're quiet. I say, "What are you thinking? Tell me," because I need to hear what's on your mind. Because Many
Wow, what are
times
you thinking?
express
Wow.
when we don't express our thoughts, we bottle it down. Yeah, you know when you keep pressing something now, and then when you step off it, it blows up.
Yeah.
So that's why we need freedom of expression. We don't need to keep piling things down in our minds and in our, no matter who you are, no matter how extroverted you are, if you're not allowed to express yourself, something has been taken away from you. A huge part of your freedom has been taken away. Where I can decide not to speak, but that should be my decision, not because I cannot speak. That
Mm.
is a decision that's been taken away from me. And you find that women who are expressing themselves in whatever way, in their art, in their, you can see the freedom that they feel, especially in either responding to people or not responding to people. It has become their choice what to do with their expression, but it's not because of somebody else. It's because of what they have chosen to do with themselves. So understanding that freedom is something that everybody should have and decide what to do with it, especially as women, is very important.
So, Ife, now I have a question, and this question is, how do you become expressive? If, for instance, you didn't have, because what you have said to me and what I can hear is the power of, you can't tell stories if you don't know how to express yourself. So you
Yeah.
cannot bring yourself forward and say, this is who I am, or this is what I'm selling. You can't pitch anything. You can't negotiate and all that if you don't even know how to put it together. So, I mean,
Mm.
gratefully, we have you who has been gifted with this rare. There's no shit. What's the worst that can happen?
What's
This
the
week,
worst?
what's the worst? But that is something that should happen. For me, I'm now thinking, and I am sure that there are people that are wondering, okay, how do I express myself? Where do I start from? I've been quiet all my life, or I'm more in my thoughts. People say things like, oh, I'm introverted, so I'm shy. There's no such thing. Shyness is a different thing from being introverted, right? But
Yes.
so my personality, I just don't know how to express myself. How do I begin?
I think that in the ways that make us safe, we should begin that way because we can't just step out of for example, I'm using face my face you into a mansion. It will feel too big. You won't know what to do with
So
yourself.
baby
But if
steps.
you baby step. So you start in a safe space. How do I like to express myself in writing, with music, with my art? Because the expression is not only by talking. I've
Mm,
realized like there are so many ways we can express ourselves and we can show what we're thinking to people. Even in our songs. Recently, my friend's husband died and she was expressing herself through music. Any music she was playing, she would share. And I would understand perfectly what she was thinking even though she could not explain, because I'm sure there were so many thoughts going through her mind. But when she sent me the songs that she'll be listening to, this is my playlist today, and I'll go through the playlist and I will feel what she was feeling, because that's the only way she could express herself to me. So we can express in different ways, in talking, in writing, in whatever way you feel safe at
mm.
first. And I think that's where people should go in expressing themselves.
Thank you
Quiet
for
or
sharing that.
just look for it, you find it. What makes me feel safe? In what mode do I feel safe? Then go ahead and do that.
So, somebody was saying that your safe space. Winifred, I
Yeah.
see you. Hi, Winnie. Okay, so your safe space. A lot of people don't know what that is, and I'm telling you from a place of, because I work in identity. A lot of people are
Mm.
lost in, so they are thinking, okay, music, how does that express that? How does that feel like an expression for me? So
Uh,
okay, because I'm now playing music, so how does it make me expressive? So
mm,
how do I connect to that? And let me put it in a proper scene. So for instance, whether it's in a work environment, some things are going on, and how do you express yourself? In a relationship, some certain things that you're in a particular place, how do you express yourself? In the middle of trying to visualize something or create something for yourself, like maybe like an idea, a philosophy, how do you rein all of your thoughts into expression? And people are saying, okay, safe space. Hey, why be me? I like to. It doesn't still mean that I'm expressing myself. So
mhm.
what I'd really want to get into your head about is, how do you come up with thoughts? So when
Mm.
things occur, so how is there a process? Like, does it just happen? And when it happens, what I want you to almost break it down into a step by step, as if you were in your room and something, even if it's an idea or whatever, when it came to you, how did you bring it to life in a way that other people can understand it?
Oh, so the first thing is when I have an idea, and mostly it's not really an idea, it's people's experiences, especially the ones written to me and I have seen by myself. The first thing is to research
Hmm.
on that. Are we still here?
Yes, yes, you are. You went a little bit, like just
Okay.
a little snake. We're here with you.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
So the first thing is to research because the first thing, so I'm just going to say something recently, two things. When I talked about my age, how aging has affected my way of thinking or and on view of viewing life. I did talk about that just recently. And when somebody said, "Oh, Ife, you don't even care much like you used to." And I know she was saying that because I don't argue as much. That's what she was trying to say. And I said, it's age, oh, I don't have time, oh, I don't have energy, I just want peace. If anything will cause argument, just leave me alone. And I started thinking that, oh, I need to check myself. What have I been doing that
Mm,
has changed about me? Because I've aged and I've had some experience. So I wrote it down and I started researching as well. Other people, what have they done? Has this also, is it just me? Or there are other
mm,
people who have experienced the same thing as me. That helps me to connect into people's heads because I'm beginning to see people can relate to what I'm saying. It is not only my experience, right? So I go and do a research. So first is I understand what I want to write. The second thing I think is who else has this happened to? I need to know. So I just go to Google or go to Medium or I go to Reddit or I go to Twitter and I
yeah,
type those
because this
keywords.
is right. This is writing based, right? That's why. So what
Yes,
she's saying, if you're thinking, is think of it in your industry. If I have a thought, an idea, this thing, have I seen it before? Who has done it? Where is this? Yeah. So that's what she's saying.
yes.
So you don't want that. I
Immediately I
don't
start
understand.
research. Yes.
Mhm.
Immediately I start the research because I just need to know. And then I now check what will people learn from it.
Hmm. So that's
That's the
value.
next thing.
Like, what value is this going to bring? Yeah. Right.
Always, always, no matter how playful I am. Just some minutes ago before I came on, I was telling one of my staff, we're supposed to do a content. I said, no matter how funny this content is, I need to know what people are going to learn from it. And she was like, oh, yeah, I'm going to list it down for you. Blah, blah, blah. So, yes, I need to know what people will learn from it. And then I go ahead and and I write my thoughts down, but in bullet points, just so I don't bore people too much. And then sometimes I write it down,
Simplicity.
sometimes I do a video, I simplify it. But sometimes I write it down, sometimes I do a video. But what I try to do most of the time is to write it in language that people will understand, even if it's English. I write in English, but I need to write in the English that is understandable to
Mm.
people. So yes, when it comes to writing, when it comes to talking, in expressing myself in videos and all of that, and the way I make my videos, that's the same process. It's just that the end point is visual. For the writing, the end point is, literal. That one, the end point is visual. So
I'm
that's the
going to
step.
make this, thank you for sharing that process. And I'm going to make that process soulful for someone else who just thinks that, we just talking about writing and this. But to tell you
Mm.
that this is the same in expressing yourself, whatever your
Yeah.
giftings, your abilities, your talents are, it is that it actually has to be valuable to other people and it has to be in a language that they understand. That's what you just said
Yes.
to me, that it's
Yes.
not enough for Ife to have these thoughts in her head. It's not enough for her to do a video and whatever. What is coming out of this thing? And in the simplest of terms, so
Yeah.
such that there's no need for ambiguity. A lot of us are
Mm-mm.
doing so many things, trying to do too much. I was talking to somebody today, and we had this conversation. The person was saying something about, people just want they just want so many things that are that you are complicating in your head. That if you just come
Yeah.
out and say it like this, that's enough. It doesn't have to be so. Storytelling or telling your own story doesn't the major thing has to be simplifying it. I think that that's
Simplify.
what I just got from what you're saying, is that it must
Absolutely.
be simplified. If I don't understand it, then what
Yeah.
are we? what are we really? What are we really
What
talking?
are
It
we?
has to be related. I
What's
mean,
my
what
point?
are we?
What's exactly what's my intention? My intention is that you get what I'm saying, that we communicate. How am I communicating
Hmm.
with you if I'm not speaking your language?
Hmm. And
What
and
what
this
what
is
we need
also. I mean,
to
go ahead. You said what would be?
what we need to is to open translation. That's dangerous because people begin to
Yeah.
poke into what you're saying what you did not say. You now find yourself explaining it more
Right.
than once. Nobody has time for that. Make it save yourself the drama and the trouble. Simplify it first, bring it on, and then just leave it because you did your best anyway.
You know, talking about creating opportunities, and I'm going to, look at why am I talking about storytelling today? Because it's our world, it's a world of show and tell. Now
Yeah.
it is that you have to be able to tell the stories in the most simplistic, intriguing, witty, attention grabbing ways.
It's the
And when
attention
we,
grab.
attention grabbing,
Yeah.
you have to put in what
Mhm.
works. There's so much taking people's minds, there's so much taking space. And why is
Mhm.
it important? And somebody may be thinking, okay, I'm not a content writer, but you tell stories everywhere. You're telling stories at work, you're pitching to your audience, whoever your bosses, to your subordinates, to your
My customers.
colleagues, to your customers, to your clients, to wherever, even if it's not okay, you're an entrepreneur, like, okay, what is the business that you do? How do you do it?
Mhm.
How do we understand what it is that you're doing? Why? I mean, have we found it useful? Have you put it in our faces enough in a way that we're like, this thing is actually valuable to me? Have you explained it in, almost like I'm a 5 year old? Like, do I
Yeah.
know what it is that, what are you telling me to do? What's the call to
Mhm.
action? I don't know.
Mhm.
What are we saying? So it is really
Mhm.
about, you have said one thing here that honestly is really powerful, is how simplified it is, and that helps us to create the opportunities. Now I want to go into the okay, telling stories. Dang happened. So did you envision your community becoming like, what were your plans? Did you say,
Yeah.
like, what was the plan from day one? Was it that, whoa, and it's fine. And I honestly want to know that I'm going to get people inside here and I'm going to do this. I really want to know how intentional this was. Was this happenstance? Was this like what? How did that community grow? What happened?
Let me tell you, not to take anything away from CNN, but they were a little shocked when they said, when you started, what was the plan? And I said, don't have plan. I just started. They were like, really? And I, yeah. I mean, the interview, they cut that part out. And I asked them why. Put it there. I'm not ashamed to say that when I started the thing, I didn't have a plan for it. I just started
That's
because you know what?
amazing.
If it's just me talking to myself and one person reads it one day and learns from it, I'm so fine with it. That's the thing that we're still doing till today. Anything I write, just one person, please, God, let them take something away from this thing. Let their life be better for this post that I've put up. That's all I want. That is all I want. So I wasn't planning like, then we'll now grow the community. After we now grow, we will now create products. After we now, no, I had nothing like that. Everything happened as we grew because again, if I'm being honest, Diary of a Nigeria Community is not for me to make money. Like now, I'm now trying to see, oh, how can we then commercialize this now when we are over 700 and something thousand followers? Is when I'm now thinking, okay, how can we properly commercialize? But I wasn't thinking about that. I think that
Initially.
also helped me. No, I wasn't. That helped me with my expression, with my authenticity, because I'm not looking for money. I don't look for adverts. I don't want to look some kind of way to anybody. I just want to come as I am. So I wasn't planning for anything. It just started growing. And then one day somebody by themselves said, if let's call ourselves down community now. Diary of a Nigeria community. Oh, okay. And it just, stuck. And it just blew up like that. And then we just went. So it's not something that I thought about or planned. Now we're making plans. We started making plans, in the past years, but it didn't start as my my new talent manager would say, Ifedang is a ministry.
You
He says
said
like
something
a
now.
church.
You have just hit it for me. Your new talent
Yeah.
manager. So I'm
Mhm.
going
Yeah.
to do a quick switch up. I mean, I know that we're saying
Yeah.
no. At what point did you know that you needed to start putting structure in place? What happened? That you just thought,
Um,
okay, I need to. Yeah. At what point did you know you needed to put structure in, and how did you go about that?
Structure started in 2020, COVID.
That was the
COVID,
year.
yes. COVID, because I wanted to do what I wanted to do, which was to review myself because I was initially anonymous, right?
Aha.
And I had to review myself because I was coming out with a skincare brand. Ain't nobody gonna
Why?
buy skincare
Why were you coming out with it? How did we get there?
because the
We have jumped.
community members wanted it. So one day
Why? Why did they want it?
I wrote about my own. Remember, the community has always been about sharing. So we just share
Mm,
information. We just anything that's happening, we just talk about it, right? So I said that I'm using a very expensive skincare product, £300 per jar. You will know it. I shall not mention names. It's expensive. Why am I spending so much? And I'm not seeing what I want to see. You know, when you're spending so much money on skincare, and you're like, but my body is not bodying. What's going on?
mhm.
I now posted it on Dang and said, you people, this is not working now. And they said, it's not just you. I use this, it doesn't work. I use that. And I realized when I started researching that Caucasians make products for Caucasians,
Hmm.
not for people of color. It's only these days that we've started hearing diversity, orishi. We did not have it before. So I thought to myself, you guys, what if I start making skincare products? If I will buy it, we trust you. Go ahead, you know. So I waited. Then I employed a board certified chemist. I employed a board certified formulator, specializing in people of melanin, people that have melanin in their skin. Not only us, is dark, but all over Mexicans, dark Asians, Black Americans, all of those people. So I employed them like, okay, let's start formulating for ourselves. It can be good for Caucasians too, but we need to put our skin type, skin texture,
Pigmentation, texture, all of that.
everything into consideration because our skin is hard and also sensitive. Do you see? Very, very complicated. So we had to start that. So I started and I said, down community members, I need testers. Oh, that skincare thing, oh, we started, oh, I need testers. And 5,000 people applied, over
Oh my
5,000 people.
God.
Yes, applied.
Oh my God.
If let's
What I
go.
say, Ife, please stop. Stop. Just stop first. There's so many things that you're saying and there's so many things that are coming. Just stop. Wait. Let me go
Yeah.
back. So you
Mhm.
know when you said, so this is something that we already also spoke about yesterday, is that there was just a pain point, like an irritation of
Yeah.
and but you decided how. For me, the question is, okay, but why did you say I want to start kissing people? How do you go from I don't like this thing, so I want to do it. Like, how did
Yes.
that happen? Like, where did you get the audacity? Where did you get the like how? Like,
I
have
saw
you
a
always been
problem.
a beauty
I
product?
saw a problem. I saw a problem. And I started checking in Nigeria how many people are properly doing science backed with native products. How many people? Not many. People were doing it low scale and calling it organic. And organic to many people is bleaching cream, right? So I did not like that at all. And I said, okay, if I'm going to do something for myself, let me just do it, for everybody else. And when they
Wow.
said, oh, how much is the investment in this thing, and I was told, I was like, let's go, let's do it. I did not look back. I did
Amazing.
not look, especially because I saw the gap and I quickly like latched onto it. Like,
You
if there are
said
no
quickly
Nigerians,
launched onto
quickly,
see
quickly,
problem.
let's not waste time.
Did you hear this thing? So you said
Yeah.
something. I mean, and you had already spoken about it, expressing yourself, doing research. You actually
Mhm.
even spoke about, okay, this was a problem to me. Am I the only one with this problem, guys? Hello, am I the okay? It looks like
Yes.
I'm the only one. Okay, okay, okay. Me, I'm going to solve this
Mhm.
problem because it's a major problem. But if I want to solve
Yeah.
this for myself, is there something more in it? It is that you are introspecting, we're asking the
Yes.
right questions, and we are,
Yes.
setting up ourselves to succeed. But guess what?
Absolutely.
Apart from ourselves to succeed, there's also the community angle, which people are
Mhm.
always missing. They always think that every problem, I'm the only one in it. I'm the
Oh
only one going
no.
through this. God, I can die here.
Not
You'll be
just
there in
you.
your corner
Oh.
saying, I'm exhausted. And
Mm.
this, you have done nothing about it. You have asked no questions. You have not
That's
tried
the
to say,
power of
okay,
sharing your story
that
so
is
other
it.
people can relate. Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
it. So it is
Yeah.
really creating
Yeah.
opportunities. It has to come from storytelling. You cannot just be. there in your corner dying and not even saying, oh, it's the same thing. Like if you have a challenge, oh, who can help me here? How are you doing this thing? You will not even believe the solutions that you will hear. But guess what? Because it started off within you, you also have, it's like an incubator. You also have the capacity and ability to
Mm,
take it further. So what you're saying is that when you start saying, okay, who is doing this thing? Okay, in what way? What's my business with pigmentation and color? I mean, it's obviously your
mm.
thing. It's obviously like, but it
Yeah.
took you getting yourself into it. It took you validating the thoughts by sharing and say, okay, story, oh, people, is this working? Is that not working? But first of all, again, the
Mhm.
community building is that when you said something, and I think that's very powerful. A lot of people in today's world are money focused, right? They are
Yeah.
just it's about the money, and so that's what wears them out. And also again, they
Yeah.
don't reap the benefits of the joys of building before they want to start reaping. Like, please,
Mhm.
let's just start doing. So it wasn't really about money, or first of all, and I know quite a number of people that are in these shoes. They, especially in today's world, they have so many huge communities, but they don't know how to translate. They don't know how to translate. They are just there, and the problem, you have just solved it. You have actually solved it by saying that I had a challenge. Maybe I'm working on something and it's not work, and I see that okay, I can actually solve this problem. But you make yourself the prototype, the scapegoat, the everything. And so tell me how.
Yes,
I mean,
I
imagine
did.
5,000 people. Some people are creating also, they don't have that volume of people to test. They can't. Where are they going to get it from? They're going to start saying this is not tested, or they're going
Mhm.
to pay for people to test. So I mean, it's honestly, you can tell that I'm actually thoroughly excited just by hearing the things that you're saying. How did you now get into the process of, like, did you anticipate that, okay, this beauty thing? What were your thoughts in your head when you were saying I'm going to do it? What did you say to yourself? I'm going to be global. What was the idea like in your head, and when you were building the blocks, what did it really look like?
Okay, let me just say that I always tell people, I think people are different, but for me, and it has worked for me so much, is I always look at the immediate problem,
Hmm.
then look at the second and third immediate problems. I don't think too far.
Too
I
far,
don't think,
exactly.
no. I just look at what is the problem now, then
What
what
do
would
I have
the
in my hands
what
now? Wow. Yeah.
and what's the third one? That's how I think. This is because my eyes needs to be on the price, on
Hmm.
the like, what is it now? Now, my price right now is the value that I've promised to give my customers.
Hmm.
If it's not working, let's change it. So that's where my like I'm just looking at
Right
the
now,
problem. So
present, the present moment.
if we do this, what will happen second and third? So I'm looking at second and third. I'm not thinking, oh, we're going global next year. Nope, no, I'm not doing that. I'm just right now, what's the issue? How are we resolving it? Then we begin to sell 5,000 pieces and 10,000 pieces and 100,000 pieces. And I'm thinking, okay, wait here now. It seems that we are beginning to solve the problems, right?
Hmm.
Actually, genuinely solve the problems. How can we solve the problems more? So initially, the whole goal was solve this problem of Black people not having their own type of companies making products for them, and actually doing it well. So that was the value I was trying to give initially. We started thinking global, started thinking expansion. The first, I need to give proper thanks to MedPlus. When
Hmm.
MedPlus came to me in December 2021, meanwhile, the company started November 2020.
They came
So,
to
but
you. Is that what you said?
yes, they came to me in
How?
December
Why?
20. They wanted to stock my product. They wanted to stock Dan. Yeah. And they did.
Did they
And
tell
they
you
said,
why?
oh, because they are saying people are coming to ask, do you have Dank? Do you have
Wow.
Dank? And I'm like, who is Dank? What's going on? And they used to say, you don't know how she does this. So then they said, if you would like to stock your products, we're getting a lot of requests from our customers.
Requests.
And I said, okay, all right, cool. Because I'm supposed to be, because my intention was I'm staying e-commerce, right? E-commerce only. That's where
No
life
store,
is.
please.
No stores, no stores. Then MedPlus came and said, stocking. Okay, let's do it. MedPlus started stocking, and your orders started increasing. Hold up. Where are these orders coming from? They said people are coming to the store. People actually walk into stores these days. I thought we had gone from, after COVID, nobody's going out anymore. That's what they told us. Next thing you know, MedPlus is buying and buying. Till today, MedPlus has sold over 55,000 pieces of dance products. So imagine how they were just buying from us. And I'm like, everybody should calm down. Give me the data. And then they gave me the data. And I said, oh, we are opening stores. We are opening stores because this seems to me like people are actually walking into stores. So that's what we did. So you see, our progress is progressive. I don't know how to explain it.
Yeah,
It is
yeah.
going
It's
as we're
progressive,
going.
actually,
Yes, and then
as
we
you
begin to
go.
think bigger, and we begin to think bigger, like that, like that.
Mm.
So our dream starts like this, like this, like this, like this, and it gets bigger as we go. Because now we are big like this. How big can we go again?
Mm.
Again, I don't think I want to say that we think how big can we go. We just think where is the next step from here. That's what we think, and then we take that, and then we take
I
that.
think that it's very, thank you, Ife, for sharing all the things that you're sharing. And they may seem very simple, but I think that is very powerful. And I know that, typically the audience is more noisy than this. So I know that their choir is just listening. They are just listening because see that they're laughing. Like, I can see laughter. Like they're typically more talkative than that. But it's
Yeah.
really the truth of how we are as a people, that we just need to take our time. We overthink because we're thinking too much ahead. Like, it is the
Mm.
baby steps. It's actually in the baby steps, and baby steps
Yeah.
are really true. Like, they're real. And
Yeah.
first off, how you told us that this thing started was just a simple me just giving myself to a cause that I'm already typically used to, and
Yes.
growing in it, and permitting myself to make mistakes and to come back from those
Oh
mistakes,
yes.
and and to be
Mm.
flexible in them, and to say, this is how he's doing, this is what's happening, telling your story, opening yourself up to expressing yourself. A lot of people are
We did
just
make
direct.
mistakes. I don't want to ever make people assume that there were no mistakes. There were a lot of
Oh, I'm
mistakes,
getting there.
especially
I'm getting there. Please
I
go
don't
ahead.
want
Since you have led us there, please.
I don't want that assumption whatsoever. We made
So tell
mistakes,
me, what are those mistakes like?
packaging mistakes, understocking mistakes, um, workforce mistakes. Oh, yeah, those three are major on my mind. Also structural for the company mistakes, because I believe that when you start a company, people start with little or no customers.
Hmm.
Dang started with over 200,000 people clicking on the website on the first day.
Wow.
It was a lot.
Hmm.
And instead of us taking time out um, to hear the customers like, oh, this is, we could not stop. Like, should we not deliver orders? Should we not give orders? When do we have time to pause and actually say, people are complaining about this and that, we need to resolve it? No
Hmm.
time. Also,
Wow.
because how does a new company start with such enormous
Yeah.
website visits and then orders? How do we didn't see coming. So we're overwhelmed initially. And then, which I know what happens when you're overwhelmed. You just drop it. Like, you just leave it alone. I mean, that's me. I just leave it alone. I step back from it. So that's one mistake I made. I left it and I stepped back from it. Like,
What did that happen? What then happened?
a lot more complaints happened from customers initially. And let me tell you what I was getting every time customers said, if it's because it's you. If it's because it's you, or if it's because this product works. So if not, and you're getting that consistently and saying, okay, I need to come back into this and resolve it. I was quite overwhelmed, and I wasn't, like, data also. We're not taking a lot of data,
Hmm.
because just working, we're working, just working, working, working,
Back to
and
back.
not employing back to back, not employing the right people who would do those jobs, because I couldn't do everything. I thought I could. I thought
Wow.
I could initially, but that was a big mistake. I can't do everything. I've employed people now that know the job better than I do. Please just come and tell me what people are doing. Let me hear in performance review meetings. I can't. So, but now then, that you can see how easy the company has become, even from standing outside, because we have employed the right people. I thought I could do it myself.
Hmm.
I can't.
It's very critical what it is that you have just said. A lot of us, especially those people who are at the point of, you are almost frustrated with your processes. It is that you actually need to leave room for other people to do it for you.
To do it for you.
How did you get that trust? So, because that's what I find with a lot of people, they feel like I'm the only one that knows this thing. I'm the only one that can. How do you entrust what is a huge, it's very important to you, right? How do I know that just leaving it with this person, or how did you do that? What happened? How did you first of all decide, what I'm going to, and how did you hire, and how did you build that trust in the people that you currently have?
The first thing I did was get a consultant.
Ah,
Again, I hiring people that know better than me. I'm not going to start
very
hiring by
key.
myself.
Very
I'm not
key.
going to, because who do I need? Who is key
Mm.
now?
Who
So we
do I
don't
need
overhire. And
now?
yeah, so who do I need now? Who do I need now? So I had to get a consultant, and she came and said, "This is what you need to right now, right now, right now. These are the people we need to hire right now, right now." Okay, got another HR consultancy firm, and they hired for us. Right? We didn't get it right quickly, simply because when people come into an unstructured environment, everybody will underperform no matter how intelligent you are. If your environment is not structured enough, everyone will underperform. So I, being a high performance person, started seeing people underperforming, and I didn't like it. I'm like, why people? And my consultant said, "Ife, there's no structure. We need to create a structure, processes, handbooks, everything needs to be put in place. Business case for everything that we're trying to do. We need to see it. Budgets, all of that." Oh, so we started, we started that. And then gradually you begin to see that the more people know what they are supposed to do, the
Hmm.
better they do, right? And
Interesting.
so creating that structure, and trust started simply because there are now processes. No one person is not doing 10 things
Mm,
at the
mm.
same time. So that's how
It,
trust
it, it's
and
very
yeah,
interesting, what you're saying, because it's applicable in a lot of places. This, I think, is very useful for people that are entrepreneurs, or people that are, thinking of building things, or are currently working with things and don't know what to do with it. Feel stuck, feel like I need help, feel like, how do I even build this thing that I have in my head as thoughts, as ideas? How do I process it? It's that sometimes you're not the only one in it, in the sense that you're not supposed to do everything. So sometimes
yeah.
some things may look difficult to you because you actually can't fix it. It's not in your hands to fix it. It's not in your
Mhm,
power. Do your own, right?
mm,
So do everything that you can do, and the other ones, just try and lean into other people. I think that what you said is, who do I need now? So
mhm.
for some people is that, they're saying, I can't afford to hire so, or I can't afford to do
Yes,
this, or I can't afford to do this course, or I can't afford to. What can you afford to do in the line of what it is that you're doing right
absolutely.
now? What can I
Absolutely.
do right now? If all I can do right now is just research that, if I started with, let me just even first of all research about this thing. Okay, what's the smallest thing? Okay, let me start this every day. Let me start that it is that you actually give yourself to a process of growth. I know that you started
Yeah.
a conversation. You started saying something. Don't worry, I've not forgotten, and I'm going back to it. So it was when you said at some point you decided to reveal yourself. So 2020 was the year that something happened. Like, okay, I think I need to pivot. I think I need to move
Yeah.
or shift. And so tell me what that
Yeah.
process was like. When you said, okay, I'm going to show myself. How was that for you? How did you come to that point, and why was it important?
It was important for people to see the my skin transformation. I mean,
Ah,
everybody will see my skin now, and they'll see my skin then. I say, I knew when Effect showed her face, this wasn't what her skin was like. So all of us are going through that process together. Even though this company is, written the owner, founder, Ifedayo, Agoro, the whole community founded this company together, because all of us are doing it together. We're learning together. We're using it together, and say, this doesn't work. This one gives me rashes. This one is this. This one is that.
wow,
Oh, okay, okay, okay. So we talk to the formulators, talk to the chemist. Why? Why is he doing that? Okay, it's because this one is used by oily skin. Tell the oily skin people to stop using it. Only for dry skin. Gradually we learned
wow.
all of this by
How
ourselves.
long did you
So
test for?
we tested for almost a year.
Wow. So the product wasn't available. You were just testing
We're just testing. Oh, we're testing.
for a
We were
year.
It tested for
Hey
almost,
guys.
so my friends and I tested for like 4 months before I now put it out, and then the testers. So as if you're a Dan community member, you see a lot of we start showing the testers results as well for people to see the
This is
results.
wild though.
Yeah. So it was a regular human to human advert kind of where you say, okay, this person is like me. He's not an influencer talking. This person is like me, and they say they've used Dank and it's worked for them. Let me go buy as well. That's what we did.
I think that, I cannot underrate or underestimate the power of authenticity, of
Mm,
authentic connections, of, being true and being real. And I actually
yeah.
want to, we're going to round up with a few things, but I can hear it's almost expanding. And one of those things is this is, if how how can people lean into their own authenticity, into their
Mm,
realness? Because people, it's hard, it's a tough world. So a lot of us are living with, with coping mechanisms. A lot of us are living with masks. We are not,
mm,
being true to, how do we even, because we are almost scared of the next person. How do I know you won't lie to me? How do I know that, that I won't be taken for granted? How do I know that I can be myself? How? So because everything that you have said, I mean, we're getting here, but we heard the beginning story. It started from a place of just being me. Like, I just want to write. I'm just going to say what is on my mind. I'm just going to, okay, you, what do you feel about it? So it is just being open and being real. And there's no story that is really inauthentic that sells, because it's a matter of time.
it's a matter of
So
time,
how
yes.
it's a
I
matter of
agree.
time. If it's an inauthentic story, we will know. You can get
Mhm.
away with this for a
Yes.
few, but you can't. How long can you pretend for now? Come on, years
Yeah.
and years. So how
Mm.
how does one, you know, get rid of masks? And I'm going to ask you some other questions in here. How does one get rid of masks? Like, how am I? How can I be real? If that's the question.
I need to assure people, like I'm saying this with 100% of my chest. Like, let me assure you very well, there's somebody that will like you for you. There is, look, we're so diverse that people will think if I do this, nobody will like me. Or maybe who kind of audience will I get if I come out to be this way or be by myself? That's the fear, that this fear of people liking us or not liking us is why we're inauthentic. We don't want to, we just want to keep that mask on. Let's keep the mask, let's just, let's keep it covered. Let's not show. And
Hmm.
again, that comes from me from a place of not feeling shame. So I
Yeah.
have really nothing stopping me from being me, just because I've never really cared. Till today, I don't care who likes me, who is talking about me, who is on my page. I don't care. I care about the people who care about me and who care about being on my page. If you don't like me, that's your business. Let me focus on the people who actually want to be here.
Hmm.
I fear that people worry that being themselves is not enough.
Hmm.
And that's too worrisome for me. It is completely enough. It is like 100%. I don't care how you come off. Whoever you are, just come like that. You'll be shocked.
You find your way.
There are so many experiences that we can see from other people who have shown themselves to be in. I started down in 2016. There's nothing that has changed about me except growth. Like growth,
Hmm.
but not like I've not decided to change brand just just because people are branding. Like I don't know what that is. Like, because I'm not going to be somebody else just for you to
Yeah.
feel like, just for you to accept me or for you to validate me. No, as long as I feel validated in myself, we should all find that in ourselves, that I am enough. Look, whoever I am, there will be somebody like me in this world. And that
Hmm.
is the absolute truth. That is the absolute truth.
I
There's
mean,
always something.
that's really powerful. But I'm going to add a few things to that. So who I am, there's going to be somebody like me, or sometimes you may feel like there's no one quite like you. I think
Mm,
that what you have said here is how you can just find your way by being. So a lot of
I
people
think.
don't realize that. So you can. It's all in your head. Like you're the
Oh,
one that
oh,
is seeing
that's very
all the.
powerful. Oh. That's very powerful. You can find your way just by being. It's
Yeah, you,
so
you can
true.
find your way by
It
being.
is. It is absolutely true.
Yeah, so it's just that you are here taking it one step at a time. And like you
Mhm,
said, refining it along the way. It may not be, I think that for us is that fear of acceptance, that shame in the
mhm,
beginning, when we're able
mhm,
to overcome it. Okay, I said this. I mean, I remember one time, years ago, somebody asked me a question publicly, and it was it was something on trend. I can't remember the word. And I said, "What do you think this thing means?" And I answered it anyhow. Oh my God, I almost fainted. When I realized the meaning after, I was like, oh my God. But guess what? That time has passed. Like, I'm so not that person anymore. I've grown.
Move.
I've moved.
Yes.
Like, we so move. We move
Mm-hmm.
for real. Like,
Yeah.
so we cannot be afraid of making mistakes. We cannot be afraid of being seen. We cannot be
Mm.
afraid, because if you don't even do those things, how do you grow? How do you get into your next? So
Mm.
it's really by
Yes.
being that. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I think that is honestly so
It's that's
powerful. I'm going to
powerful.
ask you,
Yeah.
some other things. So if this sounds also beautiful. There's all the, I mean, I don't care who likes me. I don't shake up. So aren't there moments, or isn't there any time that you feel like I wish I had this, or I wish I didn't do that instead. So how do you deal with your life as it is, or as it has become? Was there any time where you thought you were going a different way and something? So it's just like, especially when you said that you didn't plan for certain things to happen. So when it happened, how did you navigate? Like,
Mm.
how do you move in those things? Hmm.
Mm. Uh, I don't ever wish that something never happened.
Hmm.
Uh, Permit me, I'm a Christian. There's a way that God has drawn a map of my life that
Mm,
everything has interwoven with the next thing
mm,
every time. And that's why I always tell my community members, you need to check the map of your life. You need to go back, look back and see how the map is. It will save us a
mm.
lot of trouble of why, when, why am I? Because you see that
Age.
this is how life works. Like I told people that I've realized that I don't arrive early, but when I arrive big and I arrive
You are
home.
here. I am
Yes. So
here.
I didn't see that map of my life, I would
Mm,
always complain. Why am I not where I should be now? Because my friends have gone ahead of me, right?
mm,
Why am I not? But I've seen from the past that people go, go, go. When I move a step, it's a giant step. But I can be stuck for a while. But the moment I get my feet out of the mud, I'm pivoting. That is the map of my life. So
mm,
I noticed that and I said, okay, I'm not I'm not in the business of comparing. I'm not. I'm not
mm.
going to
We
be doing
can't
that.
be in the business of comparing.
No.
That's true.
Just because I have done the work of looking at how my life works, there's something like that. There's a way your life works, and you must be very cognizant of that and say, this is how my life works. And I have gone with that path. So when things happen for me, immediately I see that this is happening in my life, I know it's an opportunity for me to step into that, own that, refine that, and make that work for me. So I don't take it for granted that my life happens, like you said, just by being. But
Mm.
that when it happens, it is now up to me to take that
Yeah,
gold and refine it into the shape that I want it to be. That is my
fantastic.
job. That is the job that God has given to me. What
Exactly.
God has done is shown me the opportunity. Then what are you going to do about it? I don't think. What should I? I shouldn't have done that. Maybe I should be there. No. What I worry about, what I worry genuinely, about, honestly, is that people think I can do no wrong. It's worrisome because it is, because the human part of me will make mistakes. And that I'm not even afraid to do. I'm just afraid, not afraid, I'm just worried about how people will take my mistakes. Because,
Why is that
yes,
important?
because I don't want that pedestal that people have put me on. Like, if is always come correct, always deserve it. I don't always go. I've written it plenty times, but things are not saying that. I don't understand it. No, and it's great, but I wonder if there's a huge mistake someday. If would I be less human because of this pedestal that people have put me on? I do really worry about that. Um, it doesn't stop my life. Oh. I don't think I'll stop doing anything that I'm doing, but it's just a thing that I wish people would understand or and give room for
Yeah.
everybody to be, and not idolize them in a way where they seem like they are not capable of having huge flaws as we
I
are
mean,
as humans.
I hear what you're saying, and I guess that this is the plight of anyone who has any form of influence or impact. It is that we see ourselves, but other people see what they want to see, in the sense that they see
Mm,
all of that impact and they see all of
mm,
that. I guess that's what makes us a bit, that's the humanness in us. They
yeah.
see you in your divinity, and you
Mm,
always want to say, well, yeah, I am divine, but there is some human aspect. They don't want to see, because it has been given to us, whether you like to admit it or not.
mm,
When you are in a particular place, is your divinity that always shines through. So you are the
mm,
one that sits with your humanness or your humanity. You are the one
mm,
that sits with that. And you are the one that at different points in time just has to show that, in terms of being
mm,
gracious to other people, in terms of permitting them to.
mm,
But there's nothing that you can do to stop people from seeing your divinity, especially when you have
mm,
reason, you have paid the price, you have worked
mm,
through, you are there, you are shining. I mean, your shine is not, we are not going to see spec there. If you like, tell us, there is, you don't know, I have specs all over me, so that is
yeah.
something. I mean, I hear what you're saying, but I think that is something that we also have to tell each other. And if you're in any space where you are in the limelight, you are shining, you are in a place that you really cannot do anything about it anymore. The
Mhm,
only thing that you can do is to intentionally, you know jeopardize yourself, which you wouldn't do. You can't self-sabotage, right? So is that
mm,
every day just knowing that there's some things that it's just the way it is here. There's some things that I can't make you unsee who you have seen. Like, you have seen
mm,
my greatness. I can't say, there's not,
yeah.
so what I'm saying to you is that it doesn't matter how many times you say whatever, it's never going to happen. People are not going to see, you know, you
Yeah.
understand? So
Yeah.
it's fine. I mean, look at it in people like that are in entertainment or whatever. Even when they make mistakes, so think about it. So about that, even when they make mistakes, their people will be their people. They'll be like,
Yeah.
this they will find a way. So it is a game. Yeah, their people will be their people. Even if they say this, some people will
I
still stand
agree.
there. Like, I die
I agree.
here. It doesn't matter. So
Mhm,
I think that should give us some level of comfort or some level of, you
mhm.
know. So if and this is,
Hmm.
a
Let me say one
rounding.
more thing. Let me say
Go
one more
ahead.
thing I must say. I don't put for is that I also have bouts of panic and anxiety,
Of course.
especially with work. So when things are going wrong, I know that I will step in to do my best to make it right. But there's that panic, especially for something you've built. What said? What said with Twitter? Listen, Twitter people are not human beings. Let's just leave them alone. Let's leave Twitter people alone, please. They are something else. I never take them seriously. And I think that makes me more angry because I don't take them seriously. I don't respond to them. I don't give them the time of day. And they
That's
get
good.
really upset when I don't do that. But that's their business. So when there's a problem in the company or a damn community member is in some sort of trouble, or I do have panic attacks that gives me pause. That doesn't make me react immediately because I have to breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out. Because and all of those things they really do affect you, in the long run because you don't want to be that person who is a founder of a whole company. And when a problem comes, the first thing you do just take a breather. Some people are very quick at action. What happened? I'm going to resolve it now. Quick, quick, quick. I'm not like that. I have really bad anxiety. So they will be looking for me everywhere. I'll just tell them, please give me a moment. Just give me a moment. Because people think I'm using their moment to think. I'm dealing with my panic. I'm dealing with my panic. I'm dealing with my anxiety. And when I come out like, and I solve the problem. I give them very, wise advice and everything. But I have gone through that behind to deal because it's there and it was hard for me to accept before, but I've come to accept it now. So when it happens, I just let it, you know,
Take its
and that's when I
course.
tell people, give me a moment, and then
I mean,
I
you
deal.
have shared this, as I think that is a superpower, instead of anything. Why do I say I think it's a superpower? I think it's a superpower that you know yourself and that you are able to master. Should I say rein yourself in certain things. So some people, they have that panic thing too, but what they do is that they let it almost overtake them, that they become disoriented or overwhelmed. Like you said something when you first of all started, you said something
Yes,
about maybe something happened and you just did like this, that
I processed it.
I'm
Yes,
just going to run. It
yeah,
is that is you have also shared in the same conversation a level of growth.
mm,
And I think
mm,
that you need to give yourself credit for that. A level of growth. Sometimes we think that, we're not dealing properly, but you have to find a way that works for you. If, for instance, like, there's so many people that deal with anxieties and that even have ADHD or whatever it is, but
yes,
they are denying themselves. They're in denial. They are just saying, oh, just roughing it. And it is that you actually pause and find what works for you because your
mm,
life depends on it. Because if you make
yeah,
some certain decisions, I mean, we always say, oh, there's always a second chance, there's this, but I'd like to say that there are some chances they come to you once in a
yeah,
lifetime.
yeah,
You have the ability to work through them. So it is your
yeah.
responsibility to rein yourself in. Self mastery is an actual skill.
Very important.
Is an actual skill.
You can't run a successful company without pulling back, holding back, and just doing the needful rather than letting your emotions and your
Override
mental
you, yeah.
health deficiencies take over you. Nothing will work if you continue to allow that to happen. So as an entrepreneur, you really can't. You just deal, but deal quickly, and let's just move.
Abby, deal,
Mm.
but deal quickly. How about people that say, especially like they have communities or things like that, and they just say, I'm just tired. Like, how are you showing up every day? Like, God, what is this thing? Like, I'm done. Why can't I just run away? Why can't I just say I'm not doing again? Because it can be tough, like just solving problems consistently. I don't understand. Why am I here? How do we do that?
Yes. Yes, I do sometimes feel like shutting down. Just day before yesterday, I started looking for results. Next result. I have work. I'm looking for results to go to because I just wanted to just run away. And maybe when I woke up the next morning and I saw emails and work, that's okay. Results can wait. We'll go again. Yes, we do all want to run away at some point. Adulting could get so overwhelming. Yeah, it's tiring to
Yeah.
be honest. It is tiring. Uh, with Diary of a Niger Girl community, I really have learned to do what I can because I'm not Jesus. Before, I wanted to
Do what you
solve
can.
everything. I wanted to solve everything. Like when I read a DM, what can I do to help? How can I like? But now I just realized my therapist told me detach emotionally, then go back to it so that you are not hit with the force of that problem and then you take it upon yourself. That's what I used to do. I would quickly, instead of stepping away and reading it like a third person from a third person angle. So now that's what I do. We still solve as many problems, we still post as many dear danks, but now I don't cry as much because people's issues make me cry, make me start calling people, please come and help us. But now when I call, I'm not calling crying. I'm calling, I'm focused. I understand the problem. I want us to resolve it. And because of that, we have done a whole directory, that's where people can now go. So when you say you are going through it, going like, oh, we have a directory. Have you seen it? Go and check the directory and get
Structure.
resources for solution there. So now it's even made my life easier because quickly people can, oh yes, I saw that. I'm going to call those numbers. I'm going to send that email. and that way things are getting easier. So with Diary of a Nigeria Girl community, I'm not looking to run anymore before like I used to. And then I used to want to run because the problems are just too much for other people. Like, how are people going through this in life? It's a lot. But now, yes, I'm trying. I'm trying. For Dang Lifestyle, no place to hide. We have to keep going, especially for such a public business. We can't. But we pause. I've learned to pause, the power of pause. Just pause. We've hired people to do the job, just pause. So I pause. I pause and I remind myself while we're doing this. I also remind myself of the benefits. When you think about that too, why benefits, put
Yeah,
that
what would
together,
this do for me? Yeah. Yeah.
you keep
If
going.
you do
Yeah.
such a beautiful, well done. I mean, to be honest, I'm on the outside. I don't really know, but I think I need to look a little bit closer now. Um, you know, it's really powerful that you have, just by telling your own story and opening up to other people, giving them the space and the room to tell theirs, that it has given you, should I say, a way into the hearts, the minds, and actually the pockets of people.
Ah,
I mean,
yeah.
it's really such a remarkable thing that you're doing. On a lighter note, somebody said something which I'm going to put up. So, are you a tomboy? Really?
No, what would I say? This is the first time I'm hearing that too. Like, I know I'm
Oh,
trying
are
to
you a
be
tomboy?
playful. Maybe because of my hoodie.
Maybe.
Maybe
I
because
was
of my
like,
hoodie. That's
somebody
weird.
said something else.
Ah, I was seeing you so into my
I'll say that
life.
you sweat into
Yes,
my
this
life.
hoodie is a gift. Yeah, yeah, it's a gift. It's a gift from Bobo. He gave me so that I'll stop wearing his own.
Okay, that's fine. I
But it's
mean,
a
that
lie. We will,
ah,
we will share it. I will
that works
there's
too.
no-
That works too. So if
it's
I have a
the hoodie that made them think I'm a tomboy. I'm really not.
no,
I like
I was
girls.
like, tomboy, okay. Let me come back to maybe
Exactly. I didn't even
the
know
only
where
reason
that
I
came
put
from.
it there, it was like I wanted to know, is there something we are missing? Please, they are hailing me, please, oh please. Let me put something here. No, nobody can. Somebody said, where is this? Oh, there, I've lost my I found it. Oh no, it's not this one. Somebody said something. It just keeps flying. Every time I want to say, please, what's this? Our flower man. What does that mean?
Oh, it means my boyfriend. That's what we call him
Why
in the
is it flower?
community. Because he bought me
Hello, flower.
flowers and I posted it, and since then everybody has been calling him Flower Man.
Oh, how cute. I really
I
like
know.
how the internet is and this is something I really want to share here, and
Mhm.
especially since we're here. I was saying it yesterday that it's a real place. It's
Yeah.
actually a real place. A lot of us, and I use us because there's a particular type generation that didn't believe that it is a real world, and it is that it's a real
Yes.
world, and that you actually have to be intentional in the things that you do there. You have to be intentional how you
Mhm.
present yourself there. You have to be intentional what you
Mhm.
say there. You have to also be intentional about creating opportunities for yourself there. So one thing I
Mhm.
think I'm going to rein this in asking you these questions, like, if how do you identify opportunities, and how do you know
Mm.
when it's time? Like, how do I know that? Because there's so many things that can be happening in like a digital world, and it may all look unreal. How do you know that this is a real thing and I can identify an opportunity? Not only that, I can even create my own opportunities from this seemingly unreal world, because this world has come to stay. It's a digital world,
Yes.
and some people meet each
We're
other
here
here, some
now.
people they're here. So how do I really, how am I able to create opportunities in this world, or how am I even able to
Yeah.
identify these opportunities? How do I know it's time?
First of all, let me point your attention to Dan community members, very unserious people. Let me just say.
I can see them now. I'm just,
Yes.
don't worry, I'm not saying anything. Tesh, I can see them that they started gisting here and playing. No, he gets all the
When we're
talk.
talking serious, they were writing using pen and paper. Now that it's about man, can you see them? Can you see them? People, you will show yourself everywhere. I see you. Don't worry yourself. So, with opportunities, I feel like we need to be prepared
Hmm.
so that we can first of all even identify what that is. Because some of us are too wishy-washy about life. We are not present in situations. So something happens right now, you think, oh, what was that? We're not present. We're all over the place. Our mind, we're not mindful of our environment. We're not mindful of the people that we're speaking to. Everything that you have said to me today, right? If there's something I feel like I have to discuss with you after, I'm not going to forget after this conversation. No,
Mm,
I will write it down. Yes, because I will quickly have picked something from there that I
yeah.
need for myself to say, oh, I can use that. I need that. Many times in Dang, a lot of comment section has given me opportunity that they don't even know that is an opportunity. They've given me so many ideas, they don't know that they gave me the idea because I'm just reading comments like, oh, I'm going to pick from that. I think first we need to be mindful of our environment and our network and communication. You need to
Interaction.
listen for yourself, our interactions. You need to listen for yourself. You need to be aware of it and say, this looks like something. And
Mm,
don't drop an opportunity until you're sure it's not for you. Don't just walk
mm,
away from it. If you're not
interesting.
sure, yes,
How?
go.
How? Please, you have to go into that. Don't drop
Yes,
an opportunity until you're sure
until
it's
you're
not for
sure.
you. How do I hold on
Absolutely.
to an
Not all
opportunity?
opportunities is for us. Yes. So it may take you some time because we need to work on. Remember, I mentioned to you as soon as I said this skincare is not working for me, and people said it's not working for them. I said, let me go and research. And I was researching. I said, there's nothing here. Let me take. Even at that time, I was not sure, but I was going. I was going until I now told my accountant, my investment banker, cousin to say, what is the commercial for skincare? What is the
Mm.
projection? And when he told me, I said, that's
This
what
is
we're going to
nice.
do.
It's for me. This is it has
That's
to
what
be for me.
Yes, so I got all the way to the end to know. And remember, this is not the first business I have tried. But you can't see that because I dropped it as soon as I was sure. I knew
It's
this is
not
not
for
my
me.
way. This is not my way.
Wow.
This is not where I'm going to go. So we need to go through that process. Don't just drop opportunities like they come to you. No, I'm not about that life. This is not
Mm.
me.
This is not
It's
what
too
I
hard.
do.
It's
Mm.
2 days. This is not what I do. No, hold on to it. Go do your research. Ask questions. Understand what the field entails. Then decide I can do this or that I cannot. That is
Mm.
how we recognize opportunities, run with it, and know when to drop it or when to actually, step into that.
Amazing, 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 amazing. You know that if we stay here and we have questions, I will be asking questions. We'll be laughing there, playing too, talking about Flower Man, talking about hoodie.
Ah,
There's so many things that we can, but for the benefits of everyone that is here, I'm going to rein this conversation in and ask you
yes.
if there was some, if you had the chance to just say in like, I don't know, the shortest amount of time and say to someone how to tell your own stories and create opportunities from them, what would you say? What would you say to the person? Like, if the person's name was YBB, this is how you can identify, tell your own stories and create opportunities from them. What would you say?
For yourself. The first thing I would say is cheesy, but it's so true. Is that whatever you do, do it afraid. It means that you will be scared, but let your heart be doing like this and still be doing it. Go to bed afraid, wake up afraid, but still do it. You're like, this thing is scary, but I'm still doing it. Simply because fear will never stop. Even as we are today,
Yeah.
opportunities that I want to take for my company tomorrow, it's scary. It takes faith in myself, faith in God to say, you know what? I'm scared, but I will do it. So your story is also a brand. It's part of a branch of your brand that you need to feed. If not, what do you want people to know about you? You find people these days telling their stories for structural purposes. Like
What do you
I'm
mean?
telling myself, I want people to know this is what I do. This is who I am. Yes, it's true, and there's nothing wrong with that. This is
Yeah.
me. Please hear me, hear my story, because
Yeah.
I need you to recognize my talents. I need you to recognize my abilities. I need you to recognize the services that I do. These stories need to be told, and you cannot tell. You can't hide behind, you know, your camera or taking just pictures and thinking maybe fine girlism will help push you out there. Only take you so far, but it won't tell the story for you. Stories are powerful. People are buying stories. Listen, there's a brand called Topical. They only sold that brand by telling their story. Stories sell us, and we cannot continue to hide and say, I'm like this, I'm like that, I can't tell it. It's one of the biggest things that somebody can put forward before themselves. It's their story. And you need to start telling it in your own way, one step at
Somebody
a
asked
time.
a very critical question. How do you balance oversharing and being authentic?
For me, I feel like you have to know as soon as you want to write something, you have to feel the need or tell it or share it. Like it has to feel easy for you. Some things are too precious to us to share with the world, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
You can't put everything out there, and you know in your heart. You first of all respect when you can't overshare when you respect your circle.
Mm.
What I want to talk about YBB, I need to ask YBB. I want to talk about this. So the moment she said, "Don't talk about it," no, because when you're not when some people around you are not comfortable with what you are telling, you are oversharing. When you are
Yeah.
not comfortable with what you're telling, you are oversharing. You must
Wow.
understand that like there is something definitely called oversharing, and you can't cross that line. If some people will stop trusting you, people will stop acting by like themselves around you because they know that you're going to go ahead and share it to the internet. So you need to be careful of that. When I write people's stories, especially I rarely talk about my family, rarely, because I don't want to put them in that position. But when I want to talk about men or whatever, I'll say I'll just send a look. I'm posting this. Is that okay? Yeah, yeah, yeah. Why not? Okay, and then I'll go ahead and do that because I don't want anybody to feel bad for me. So when people are uncomfortable with what you're saying about them, when you are uncomfortable with what you're saying about yourself or about others, that is definitely oversharing.
How do you know what stories to tell?
I know what stories to tell when I know somebody will learn from it,
Wow.
especially yes, when I know that
This is
this is
about
the
value, guys. I mean, we have spoken about this even yesterday. It is really about
yeah.
value. And you have sort of like emphasized that a few times. Like, if you're
Mhm,
even creating something, you're putting up something, you're always saying, what is in it for the other person? What's the person getting from
mhm.
it? So I think it's really, yeah, this is very, very powerful. How do you know what stories to tell? It is those that
Yeah,
people will find valuable. How do you know that people
valuable.
find it valuable? You will know. You will know, you will know,
What
you
I
will
was
know.
just saying that I have to check who has it happened to before, things like that. It takes a lot of work to remain consistent with how you express yourself. We don't want to be all over the place. People don't respect people who are not consistent. So how do you
Mm,
remain consistent with sharing? Is first of all,
mm.
it has happened to me. Who else has it happened to? What have I learned? What have they learned? Bring it all together and say what I've learned. But other people have also said they learned that. Do you get? It shows that you're well-rounded, but it keeps you consistent in how you are telling the story, not just you're all over the place. People will just stop trusting you and stop listening to you or just reading from you.
So I mean, great that you're saying all of this, but guys, please note that Ife is saying this in the light of who she is and what she does. Storytelling is not
Mhm.
just about writing. Before you can start saying, I don't know
No,
how to
no,
do this.
no,
I'm
no.
not a
It's not
storyteller.
about.
Oh. I don't write. So telling a story is also about building a brand. It's about building a personal
Yes,
brand. It's about
yes,
projecting yourself. It's about pitching for something. It's about pitching even for a promotion. It's about starting a business. It's about being a career person. It's about being an entrepreneur. It's about being an
yeah,
entrepreneur. So telling stories is that you are able to articulate your thoughts, your expressions, and you are expressing yourself in a way that it is received, not only received, is retained, is believed, is compelling enough, so that it gives you room in your world. That's all it
yes,
is. So when we talk about
it does.
storytelling, don't think that it's just because I think I saw a Katie here, the writers, people that just say, to my dear husband. It's not just about people that,
Yes.
that write. So you don't start
Let
feeling
me
like,
just say what you just said about using your story as branding and pitching. The way I use stories to get promotions when I was in oil and gas is what I just told a story of my abilities. Like I don't know. I'm sorry, but it just sounds simple, but it's the truth. When I needed to get promoted, I just told my story. But before telling my story, I did the work so that I can have a
yeah,
story to tell. So there
yeah.
are two different things. You need to do the work first so that when you're telling your story, we can go back and check that what you're saying is true.
It's true.
Do you
There you
understand what
go.
I'm saying? So I had to do the work. And then when I went to my boss to say, ma'am, I would like to leave the front desk. She said, why? You were just there for 5 months. I said, when I started this company, I just wanted to work in oil and gas. And then I started seeing how you are. I started seeing how you market things to people. I started hearing your phone calls and how confident you are. I started seeing how the company is doing. And when you bring me documents to print out, I print them out and I also read them. And I see that some things that need to be corrected. And I send by email to the operations lady and the supply chain manager. I told my story. And there was one day I told her, I said, I woke up at 4 a.m.
Oops. A
This
slight
thing went
glitch.
off
You
a little
woke
bit.
up at 4 a.m. That's the last thing. But you're back. You're back in a sec. In a second. Are you still here, Ife? Are you still here? Okay, so she'll probably join us in the next few seconds or minutes. But I think that it's very important, guys, to know that storytelling is so powerful in our journey, in our lives, in the way that we are, unfortunately or fortunately, however it is that you look at it. Our world, you cannot, there's somebody that says something that I find interesting, that nobody can say there you are if you don't say here I am. So they can't say, it's my husband that actually says it. He says, nobody can say there you are except you say, oh, here I am. So it is that when we talk about storytelling, whether you're a career person, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're whatever it is that you are, it is that you should be able to know that, okay, this is how to say the things that I have done or I'm doing. Oh, Ife, you're back. Hello, hello.
Yes. I,
You
I
were
don't know. I
saying
don't know
at,
what
at
happened.
four, well, it's fine. We understand these things. The last thing that you said was that I think you said at 4 a.m. or
Yeah, so I was
something.
just telling a story of my work to say that at 4 a.m. the other day, I got an email about a vessel and I replied it. You can go and check. I replied it because I was just following through with that transaction. I couldn't sleep. I know it's not my job, but I just couldn't sleep, knowing that it was a chaotic transaction. And I just was going to be there for anything that was needed, to do. If you needed me to do something, I will be there at that time. So there are ways we can pitch by storytelling. It's not only writing or videos, no, we all have different brands, right? We all have what we're trying to do, but we need to position ourselves in a way where our stories are authentic. Again, like I said, can I go back and check that your stories are true, even if it's at work? So it means that for me to tell my story, there needs to be a history. What is your history?
Yeah. What are you what
What
are you
story
what are you
are you
telling it
telling?
on? What's the value?
Yes.
Yeah. I mean, we have like two questions I think left here, and I'm just going to take these questions because we really have to go, guys.
Yes,
We
please.
really do have to go. I
So
think
I said
somebody
one
said,
hour. I said, oh, we're here till now.
look at you. Yeah, it's the gisting and the talking and how
I
intense
know.
the conversations can get. Somebody said, how you mentioned being gracious when writing reviews. How do you do that without suppressing the facts? And I think the other thing would be, how did you make the transition? So those are the last few questions that we are taking today. Let's take this one first. So reviews. How do you do that without suppressing the facts?
Okay. The facts are the facts, but they don't have to be unkind.
There you go.
For example, why maybe you're wearing a red headset.
Mhm.
You like red headset? Oh, I do. But I've seen yellow look better on you, Shao. You don't want to try yellow. Oh, I don't want to try yellow. Okay, yellow looks better, Sha. Oh, what are you wearing? What is this thing you're wearing on your head that is not looking nice and you're still wearing it?
Exactly. There's a
That's the
way. Yeah.
difference. I still let you know what it is, but I also say it kindly. We don't want to lie to people and then deprive them of the opportunity to do better. We don't want to do
Yeah.
that. We
Yeah.
want to be honest, but we also want to be kind. Let us state the facts, but always state it kindly. There's always room for kindness
Powerful.
in anything that we
Yeah,
do.
yeah, it's graciousness. Yes, exactly, exactly.
Yeah.
What was the transition? How did you just move from being this person in oil and gas to this? I think that's what the person was asking. Although I think you sort of like mentioned it, but just quickly
I
tell us
did.
again,
I
how
was
how did you
tired.
make that quick transition from you were
Mm,
tired, Abby?
I was tired. I don't think oil and gas is a place for sane people. Like you have to have some sort of insanity to stay there and continue to thrive there. And people will
Oh my
say,
goodness.
if you ask anybody in oil and gas downstream, they'll say, Ife, we were shocked she left because I was thriving. So imagine how do you just leave? But I was depressed. I would close windows. Only me would stay in the house with locked windows and all of that. Only me will carry my bag and go to the UK for a weekend and still stay in a hotel and not step out. Next time I step out, I'm going to the airport to come back to Nigeria. There
Wow.
was no, I had no reason, no zeal to
No
do anything
joy.
other than
Mm.
work, and no joy other than work and make money. So I got tired of it. But let me just say, before I left too, I planned my exit, and
There you
I
go.
had the work. Like I was working like a robot. That's how people will say, why did you leave? Because I was doing so much work. Because I knew that if I didn't work for 3 years, I wanted to be okay,
Mm.
right? If I didn't do any business for 3 years, if I didn't do anything, I just wanted to be okay. So I did a lot of work for over a year. I worked, I saved, I invested, put money aside so that when I stop, I don't go back. That
Mm.
was the
Which is very
transition. So
powerful.
I stopped and I started writing my dang. I understood what real fulfillment was in doing what
Mm.
you love and not struggling to do it. Because that's another, sometimes we do what we love, but the struggle is real. I didn't
Mm.
have to struggle because I had planned my exit very carefully and I left very nicely and demurely and classy, very demure.
Hmm. We will
and
not hear that word, but it's okay.
and that's it.
Fantastic.
Yes.
Fantastic.
Fine,
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Ife. This was so good. I'm going to just, rein things in for everyone so that they understand the purpose of this. Deeper conversations for me are those conversations that we have where we can really share where we are coming from, where we are going to, where we are really, and help other people to see that we are related, like we are the same, we want the same
yes.
things, but there are different ways and there are different approaches. I feel like there are light bulb moments that a lot of people have had here, and it is your responsibility to take them and use them for yourself. So Ife has said all the things that she has to say, and I know that she has also, from saying these things, you also become validated in the things that you are saying to realize that, what, I've done a lot of work. So don't, a lot of times we do so much work and we just make it seem like, it's grace or it's God. Is, yeah, there is God, there is grace. And I keep saying this thing, but you have to put in the work. If how much do you work? How much do you put in? Is this just, oh, they're a magic girl? Oh, dang products. I mean, what really is this? Like, guys, we don't, like, this person is not playing. It's not a
Yeah.
matter of playing.
It's not, it's not a play matter.
It's not a play matter. I know, yes, it's funny, it's good, it's all of that, but
Mm,
people are doing a lot of work behind the scenes. And if you are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, know that your work is valuable and that
yes.
it can translate into something much more. So look
Mhm.
out for the opportunities, but also create those opportunities for yourself because you actually can.
Yes.
You
You
actually can. From nothing, you actually can. I was going to say to everyone here, if you didn't ask me, it was very random. So I'm not a believer in so many, people do a lot of talking. There's just so much talking out there, and there's no tangible result or tangible effort. I remember the first time I came across the dank thing. I was like, dank product. I've tried all sorts of things, expensive, this and this and that. So I said, okay, I went into the dank store and I said, I want a nighttime routine and a morning routine. And the thing was just to try it out. And I tried it out for, I think, like maybe like 2 weeks. And guys, my dank products, can you see them? My dank products. And she did ask me, can you see there are plenty things? Look at this one. If I go and bring back our products, see my beauty something.
beauty
Like
water.
my beauty, I like how soft and it is. It's not
Yes.
when you put water, you don't feel drenched, guys. It is that
Yes.
people, these things are real. You can put in real effort, and your work matters wherever it is. And it is that you can translate and you can transit and you can evolve. If I started with, let's start with oil and gas, but you were not sleeping and faffing around in the oil and gas. In that, you were still doing what it is that you needed to do. Somebody, she talks about a 4 a.m., this and all of that. So, guys, I mean, I just want to say thank you to Ife. Let's say thank you in the comment section. I think that's all that we want to say here tonight
Thank
before I
you.
let her go, before we just take
Give
her entire life
me.
from her. Like, give us, tell us. I want to know. Thank you.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
Ife.
Thank you
Thank
so
you so
much.
much for being here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you,
Always
thank
a
you.
pleasure.
Thank you. Yes, guys, just say thank you. Not just thank you, baby. Thank you, Faye. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yes, God bless you. Thank you so much.
God bless
Thank
you
you,
back.
thank you. Yes, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love, 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 love. Thank you. Thank you, Ife. Thank you, everyone, for being here tonight. I'm just going to round this up by saying that, please check your task sheets. Know that you can. That's one thing about the deeper conversations. Check your task sheets in your emails, go over it, and try and create your own, should I say, story. So you can create your own story from where you are. You can go into all of those things, create your stories, and find your way through your own life, because you can. You actually can. I am so excited. Deeper conversations lead us to one place. I always say that I do it before I launch Magnetism 10X, which is my group coaching program, but it's not about that. Again, deeper is for everyone. Magnetism isn't for everyone, but whoever it is for, they would find it. But the point is, do the work, guys. Thank you so much for being here tonight. Tomorrow, our final deeper session for 2024. I'm having Tochukwu Foy. Dr. Foy is somebody who has learned his way with creating an authentic voice. And if you are struggling with finding your own meaning, finding your voice, you can't find your task sheet. It's in your emails. So just check the mails. You see it at the end. And you know what? Let me just put up the I this is where to get it, so you can actually just type it out and put it into your browser. Your task sheets are those after the conversations. I share task sheets, so these are not just mere conversations, that you can also find your way. You can just I think this is what Ife's task sheet looks like. I created that. So it's your personal brand story. If your life were a book, what will be the title? What will be the key chapters? It's for you to just identify, okay, what is important to me? What are my giftings, talents, skills, abilities? What am I able to gift that is valuable to the world? Those are like different things that you sit down with, how effective and all of that. This is what her task sheet looks like, and it's in your emails. Just go back to your mails and find them. We'll send them again in the mail. But tomorrow we have Dr. Foy. I'm particularly excited about that. Particularly excited. So see you guys tomorrow. Thank you for being here tonight. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So this is a time when you say thank you to everyone that you can see. Thank you to everyone that's here. Thank you so much, people. Thank you, Adirele. Thank you, Adeze. Thank you, Sunday. Thank you, Tega. Thank you, Rachel. Thank you, everyone. Just keep saying thank yous, thank yous, thank yous, thank yous, thank you, guys. See you tomorrow. Share with other people. See you tomorrow. Thank you, guys. Put it in the comments. I want to see all of the thank yous. And if there's anything that you learned, please share it on social. Tag us. Tag me at Identity Coach. Tag Ife and Diary of a Niger Girl. If there's anything that you learned that you want to share, or that stood out for you, please put it out there. Thank you so much, people. God bless you.